budgeting categories. That is what this video is all about. This is the budget planner series, episode 2, and we will be discussing budget categories and more. Hello everyone, my name is Terry and I am from Botswana, and I am a cash stuffer and cash budgeter, and I utilize the zero-based budget to manage our finances. I use all of the above actually to manage our finances. So this series is all about the budget planner, how I use my planner. This is the second video. The first video I'll link in the description. You can just go back to that to sort of get context as to why we are here. But this is episode 2. Now, let me bring back. We ended with us tracking our spending. So, tracking our spending, but this is our daily expenses. This is expenses every day, our everyday expenses. These are the ones that we did in the last video, but these are just our daily expenses, like lunch at work are things that, this is money that we use every day. But we also have bills. We have expenses that come up that we weren't really expecting. We have the bank fees, we've got emergencies, we've got miscellaneous stuff, things that we haven't planned, like I said. So you've also got to add them here. And then of course we've got our bills, like buying electricity. Here you can be buying electricity for yourself. That is essentially a bill. So throughout the month, things like credit cards and bank fees and Apple Music or Netflix or whatever, they don't necessarily come at the end of the month, because in Botswana we paid once a month, and you know, most of our bills we pay at the end of the month, but they're those that come through throughout the month. Excuse me. So in tracking our expenses, we should also take out our bank statement for things that come directly from our account. Now those also we add into here. If on the 7th of the 11th Netflix came out, and Netflix is how much? I don't even know how much it is anymore, because the price keeps going up. Let's say it's 120, and then Apple Music comes on the 12th. This is us still tracking our expenses. Apple Music, changes. Sometimes it's 112, sometimes it's another amount, and then on the 25th, something else came out. So this is also adding our expenses, but these are expenses that come out of our account. I think I was just just wanted to wrap up our tracking of our expenses, that we do include our bills as well as we track our spending. We track every single thing that comes in for 3 months, and we've collected enough data for now to try and organize all of this spending. So out of all of these, this list of expenses, there'll be bills, there'll be unexpected expenses, there'll be all of that. So we've got categories. So in my planner, because these videos are about my planner, I've got this page here. Now this page, let me zoom in a bit. This page here, I've got all the general ones, that I think most people have. Obviously there'll be some that don't apply to everyone, like somebody who doesn't have kids, for instance, this won't apply to them. Or somebody has pets and there isn't one here for pets. A budget is personal. It's going to be different. Mine is going to look different to everybody else's, to the next person. So like, this is mine. These are my categories, which I made from a list that I did in the beginning to identify all of these. In order for you to make your budget categories, first you've got to identify your needs and your wants, because there are things, my needs are going to be different to your needs. For example, if you work with your hands most of the day, you want your hands to look nice because you don't want crusty hands, and you know, when you're using your hands mostly, doing your nails and all of that will be a need. Whereas for somebody else, it may just be a want. Oh my gosh, the alarm. Yeah, I'm in like an apartment building, so the alarm is always going off. So yeah, that is that. And guys, I know that this video is a little late. I apologize. Moving around, looking for a house, traveling, it's just all over the place, but I will get settled. I'm going to try and make these a little bit more consistent. So this one is a little late, so I apologize. Okay, like I said, these will look different for everyone, but debt, if you've got debt, this is where we'd list our debt. Now I wrote description and amount because it's easier for me to put an amount. Not everybody is gonna kind of feel the need to put the amount. I put the amount in here so that when I do my budget, I can refer back to here and see exactly what I'm spending money on. So like I said, these won't look the same for everyone. And then there's the miscellaneous category. Now this category, miscellaneous, is for things that you didn't plan for, things that just show up. Like I've got unexpected expenses here. I put my bank fees here because I didn't have one for bank fees. And then I put church here, but then I changed in the end and I realized that church needs its own category. Because when you do this the first time, it's not set in stone. You can always change them after this, or realize that no, maybe this shouldn't go here. Now the importance of having categories is so that you can have the expenses more organized. Now out of these budget categories, you can also identify from your expenses your needs and your wants, and also your bills. From your expenses, you'll get your bills, your fixed expenses, and your variable expenses. You will get from here. And budget categories are all about organizing. But as we track our spending, we will also identify sinking funds. Sinking funds are expenses that come up, but things like school shoes for your kids, or the car tires, or your car battery dying, these are identified as sinking funds because they're expenses that you were expecting. You might not have planned for them, but you knew they were coming. Now, having sinking funds is basically saving for that. Say you've got a car sinking fund. You know that your battery is eventually you're gonna need to change your battery. You're gonna need to change your tires. You're gonna need to take your car for service. You're gonna need to change your oils, your filters, and all of that. So having a sinking fund for cars is basically just preparing, so that when that time comes, you're prepared, so that it doesn't mess with your budget. Because when I do my budget is already set. Everything has a place. I'm telling everything where to go. So if now something else that comes up that I didn't plan, it's going to mess up the plan that I already have for that month. So also we have sinking funds. So you will identify those still from here, because remember, we're tracking our expenses. Now all of these expenses that are going to come when you're tracking, they're going to come up as unexpected expenses. But now, since we're getting organized, you're going to realize at the end of the 3 to 6 months after tracking your expenses that, okay, maybe I need to do a sinking fund for my car, because in these 3 months, I had to fix a tire, my battery died, and all of these expenses messed up everything. So now I'm going to start preparing for them. So that's now you setting your sinking funds. So far, we've realized that we need to separate our needs and wants. Now all of this are mini reports that we're getting from tracking our spending. Needs and wants, and then we'll get our fixed expenses or our bills, and variable expenses. Now variable expenses change every single month, but they come every month. Things like food. I'm not an accountant, guys. I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm going to be all over the place, but I'm just kind of telling you what I know. Of course, I'm not an accounts person. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just trying to kind of show you my journey and how I got to where I am today. That's it. Side note. Okay, so your variable expenses. Identified our needs, the bills or fixed expenses, and our variables. Now we are identifying sinking funds from our expenses that we've been tracking. So for me, this other page, because there's 2 pages on here. So on here, I put my sinking funds. But also, like, if there's a category here that isn't there, and somebody gets a hold of this planner and they want to use it, they can also add, their categories here and describe them here. But I put my sinking funds on here. Car, health, all of these are to me important. And like I said, a budget is really personal. It's very different from one person to another. You save up a little bit every month so that when that expense comes, like my husband will have work trips and they contribute at work. And then there's holidays that you also need to save up for. And then there's family contributions that you need to save up for. And then there's gifts, only mine. And then these are my kids. This is what I need to save up for them. These are extra expenses that come up every now and then. So I try to prepare for them by having sinking funds. So that's all of this I got from tracking my expenses for some months. I'm still doing that even today. Almost 4 years doing this. I'm still tracking my expenses because I just need to stay organized where my money is concerned. So that is how my planner helps me, guys. These videos are all about my planner and how my planner helps me. Now, we've identified our sinking funds from only the ones that we've identified. Now, we're learning something from our tracking our expenses. They are unexpected expenses that come in. We need to plan for them in future because now what? We're getting organized with our money. We're budgeting and we're doing everything. So in this planner, also, because I want to show you the blank pages first. When you turn the page in this planner, there's a bill tracker. Now, I use a bill tracker. Those expenses that come up every single month and the amount is fixed is, for example, if the only amount that probably isn't fixed, it will be my bank charges, because as I do e-wallet there and I do the charges differently every month, but the maintenance charge doesn't change. This bill tracker here is where I track all of my bills. Now, it might not be important to everyone to track their bills, but I believe it's important for me to track my bills because I forget a lot and I don't want to miss a bill. And now since I'm organized, this planner helps me. It's just one of the things that became really important for me too, because I want to know where my money is going now. So I need to keep track of that. So this is what it comes like. I've written down all of my bills right up to the end, and then every single month right up to the end. So I'll split them up. These are yearly ones. These ones come once a year, and then these ones every month. And then every time after I've paid a bill, I take this. Today is the 21st. So I need to check my yesterday evening I checked the money wasn't out yet, but I need to check if Apple Music has taken its money. It needs to go. I've been saying that for the past year, but it hasn't gone. My son keeps saying we should move to Spotify because apparently it's better. I don't know, but yeah, I've just got to check if it's come out of my account. And then if it has, November, I'm going to tick it. Then every time after I pay my rent, I'll tick here. Now I've organized these according to date, the earliest to latest, because I'm a little seasoned now. Before that, it was just all over the place, but now I've organized. So things like insurance. Sometimes, even though I've signed the form that they should take the money direct from my account, the stop order, sometimes it just doesn't come out. Because for whatever reason, when I started, I told them to take this one here, to take the money on the 28th, and they just take it all on the 31st. So I went there and I changed, and I told them to take both of them on the 28th, on the same day, because they are the ones who decided not to take on here. And then if you're not really checking your account, you'll just assume that they've taken the money, and then 3 months down the line you see a message saying you're in arrears and you're not even aware, because you're not really keeping an eye on your account and you don't really know what's going on. So this also helps me keep an eye on my account, because when this date comes, I make sure I go to my bank statement and I make sure the money's come out of my account. If it hasn't, I can do a follow-up. So that's why this is really important to me to keep track of. Yeah. So that's another page in this planner, because now we've done our budget categories. We've got all our bills down. Now I think we're a little bit closer to doing our budget. But since I don't want these videos to be too long, I'm going to stop here and then carry on in the next video. I hope you found value in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know these are they might be taking longer than maybe you would like. But I think we'll gain momentum as the videos go on, because guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a teacher. I'm just sharing. I'm just sharing my journey, and I hope you understand my yapping and I hope you understand me. But that was that about budget categories. I hope now you see the importance of tracking your expenses and then organizing those expenses into budget categories. That is all that I was trying to say in this video. This whole video, that is all I was trying to say. Please comment, and if you like this kind of content, give this video a thumbs up, share, and let me know what you think. And please tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.